Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Monica. I like to post anti-MLM, multi-level marketing, and some life content. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my opinion about Patreon, YouTube versus Patreon, I guess a little bit about Patreon and that sort of thing. Because y'all know I have an opinion about literally everything. So I just wanted to talk about all of that kind of stuff because I know some people don't even know what Patreon is, some people hate it, some people don't mind it, some people support content creators. So I just kind of wanted to go over all of that, and there is a reason why, because of a situation that I witnessed a few weeks ago, I think it was now. So let's just get into this video. So what is Patreon, for those of you who don't know? It is a membership platform. A lot of content creators on YouTube have one, and it's just to kind of either get to know their audience a little bit more. There are exclusive tiers where some people, you can have a one-on-one with your favorite content creator. Some people do it for training programs, or if they have some kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I know some people have like small business information, like how to be a small business owner. The first time I ever heard about Patreon was someone who was posting adult images of themselves on it, which I have no judgment towards anybody who does whatever they want on their own Patreon. It is not my Patreon, it is their Patreon. So whatever y'all decide to do, no judgment here. So when I first heard about it, that's what I thought it was predominantly used for. But then when I started getting really heavily involved in YouTube, and I started seeing how a lot of content creators have a Patreon, and I started looking at their Patreons just to see, what are their tiers, what do they, I guess, provide in all of their tiers. And what I mean by tiers is you can actually have multiple different tiers on Patreon. So for example, for me, the only reason why I got Patreon was because I didn't think anybody would sign up. I did it for fun because in my brain I was thinking no one is going to like me enough or want to support me enough to go that extra step and actually pay to see my content. So for my Patreon, I have 3 different tiers. I have $1, $5, and $10. So each tier you get something a little bit different. And obviously the higher that you go, the more content you receive, or the more perks, I guess you can say, you get. Now, the reason why I did it was because I had no idea what I was doing. And like I said, I didn't think anybody would even become a patron. Being a patron of artists or content creators, whatever the case may be, is not a new, concept. It's not. This has been going on for a very long time. People help support their favorite artists, or what else? It's not a new concept. The reason why I wanted to talk about this was because of a situation that I witnessed a few weeks ago, as I said in the beginning of the video. Now, I follow many different subscriptions here on YouTube, ranging anywhere from beauty, makeup, to anti-MLM, to controversial topics or conspiracy theories, to vaping, to cars, cooking. It's literally all over the place. So, and I also do follow a gaming channel, which I don't game, it's more so for the entertainment purposes of it because I find the content creator entertaining. And so that's just, I watch everything. I love having a variety of things to watch because I do watch a lot of YouTube. We pay for YouTube, so I can watch whatever I want without having to deal with ads and that sort of thing. I think that my fiance and I actually watch YouTube more than Netflix or Hulu. But anyway, I digress. Let's continue. The situation that I witnessed was a vape channel. His name is Jay Hayes. He is also from New Jersey, so of course I have a biased opinion about watching him because he's from Jersey. But my fiance started watching him for the vaping information, and then it kind of spilled into me watching him because of my fiance. But the only reason why I don't really watch him as much for the vaping content, it's more so for the entertainment value, because He is very blunt, very honest. I find him comical, and I like the fact that he is just, what you see is what you get. And I really love it when there's people out there that they don't care what anybody else thinks. They're gonna do whatever they enjoy doing, and that's it. Now, what a lot of people didn't know about Jay's channel is he doesn't do sponsorships. Anything that he reviews, he purchases himself. If you don't know anything about vaping, some of these things can get very pricey. If you're reviewing a new product, whether it be every day or once a week, it can get expensive. I think he said in his video that the most expensive product he bought for a review was $4,500. And yes, you heard that right. $4,500 for a video for his YouTube channel. So he went on to his YouTube channel to talk about how he's going to kind of lessen the amount of content that he puts out on YouTube, and he's going to migrate a bunch of stuff to his patrons because they pay for the extra content, and he wants to provide them the content that they actually want to see. So I think that what he's doing is fair. I mean, he's still going to post on YouTube because if it wasn't for the subscribers on YouTube, he wouldn't be where he's at right now. And I think he understands that. A lot of people took his video out of context and took it as he is no longer going to be posting on YouTube, and that he's only going to be posting it for his patrons and everything like that. A lot of people took it out of context. Now, when he talked about Patreon, a lot of people came out of the woodwork, and a lot of his fans that have been here since the beginning turned on him like that, like almost instantly. So I wanted to talk about this from just my opinion and my point of view regarding Patreon. So there are good and bad things about Patreon. There are mixed feelings about Patreon. And so I just wanted to kind of talk from, I mean, I'm not very experienced with Patreon, so I really can't talk from experience. This is just opinion based. But a lot of people, they don't like Patreon because why should you pay for content that you could watch for free from another content creator? Which I actually agree with. That, in my opinion, that is a valid point. Why would someone want to, for example, with me, why would someone want to support me on Patreon when a lot of my content, one, isn't that, it's not up to par with other people in this anti-MLM community, okay? Maybe they like someone else's channel much more. Maybe they don't like my research. Maybe they don't like my style. And a lot of the things that I talk about is out there on YouTube for free. So I get it. I do think that that is a valid point. Now, in my opinion, I think that it's more so for the people who truly like that specific content creator. So, like I said, there's obviously a lot of people in the anti-MLM community that are making videos and, you know, things of that nature. So I really think that it all boils down to if you really are a fan of a content creator, or if you see potential in them to create better content, to up their production value. So I think at that point, it really is just personal preference. But that is a valid point. Why support someone like me when you can watch someone else for free? Valid point. I agree. Another thing too, and I can understand where subscribers come with this certain comment, is a lot of times subscribers will feel like they no longer matter because they're watching the content creators' videos for free, and they might feel a certain way that the content creator doesn't really value what they think because they have people paying them for content. A lot of content creators, they have patron-only, like patron-specific content. So I think that at that point, a lot of subscribers probably feel as though their opinion doesn't matter anymore, and that's not the case, because content creators are very well aware that if it wasn't for the people who are watching your videos for free, we wouldn't be where we're at. I mean, I'm a very small channel and I have less than 10 patrons. So I know that I'm really not one to speak on the topic, but as you guys know, I like to play devil's advocate. So I get where they're coming from. I do. And then also, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of times people that watch the videos for free, so like subscribers and stuff like that, sometimes I feel as though my subscribers do understand how much time and money goes into this, but I think that for a lot of other people, they don't understand, because I've had a lot of you actually reach out to me and say that you do know that it takes a lot of work, so you commend any content creator that is out here creating content because you know how much goes into it. So, but I think that the problem with some people who don't like the idea of Patreon, I think that that's also another thing, is that if you've never created a video, or you know, if you've never purchased equipment, it's not that you necessarily don't understand, but you might not fully really get how much time and money goes into this. So let me just break it down a little bit. For me, for example, for a lot of my deep dives, I do a ton of research. So if you watched my Amway video, that particular video took days of research. Then it took the time to film it, and I had to film it multiple times because my camera cut out, the battery died, the camera overheated. So when you guys watch that video, that was a hot mess express of creating that video. So, and I still don't feel like I did it justice, but it took days to research, it took hours to film, then it took hours to edit the video, then it took time to render the video, it takes time to upload. I think that video took 3 hours to upload onto YouTube, and I don't know if that's a YouTube problem or if it's the size of the video. I don't know, but I know that that took a little bit of time to upload onto YouTube. Then you got to make the thumbnail for it. And now for me, thumbnails are really easy. I have a certain way of doing thumbnails now where I can literally, it's like that for me now. But for some people, if they're first learning how to do it, I'm still learning how to do it properly. But for some people, it does take a little bit longer because they're trying to make it perfect, and you guys get what I mean. So there's a lot of time that goes into it. On top of that, there's a lot of money that goes into it. I recommend that if you are thinking about starting on YouTube, that you should not invest anything in equipment just yet, because there are phones out there that have great specs for recording videos. So I personally think that if you want to just try it out and see if you even like it, just use your phone. Use basic editing software that either comes on your phone, or, you know, there's a lot of apps that you can use as well. So I think that if you're first starting out, definitely don't invest into equipment because the equipment gets expensive. Now, at the same time though, for me, I was lucky because I already had my camera from blogging. So that was a few years ago is when I got this camera. I have since gotten different lenses and stuff for my blog. But for YouTube, I actually, believe it or not, use one of the kit lenses. So, because I have to save up to up my production value. And also because I'm at our business almost 24/7. So this is the best place for me to be able to record videos. But, so when I first bought my camera, it came with 2 kit lenses, and it cost about, it was a little bit under $800. Thankfully, I was able to finance it. So for me, that was great because it took however many months to pay it off. I only had to pay the minimum payment. So for me, that was really great. But for some people, maybe they aren't able to finance, or maybe even financing, maybe even that minimum payment a month is too high of an expense for them. And that's understandable because, in my opinion, I think that there are more people out there who are living paycheck to paycheck than people actually can fathom. So, And this does take a lot of time. So why should you buy something that expensive if you don't even know if you're going to continue doing it? So that's how much my camera costs. The microphone that my fiance got me, which is the basic microphone that you can get, but I had to get a Sony specific one because there's no like little input thingy or whatever it's called on the actual camera. So I had to get a Sony specific microphone. So that was over $100. Thankfully, he got it for me as a gift, but for some people, they are going to have to pay for it out of pocket. I was gonna buy it anyway if he didn't get it for me for Christmas, but I was waiting to save up a little, you know, a little extra, because that is an expense. It is. Then on top of that, if you really want to up your production value, then you start getting the foam that you put to help with the sounds and everything and the echoing. And unfortunately, I can't do that because I'm in our store. Like, this is a giant store. Then, of course, I eventually want to get a better backdrop and everything like that, because if you can't see right here, you can see the cars going back and forth because I'm right next to the highway. And so all of this costs money. Now, I'm not sitting here begging you guys for money. That's not what I'm doing. And I'm not sitting here complaining that this is so hard, because for me, it's not. This is a hobby for me. So for me, it's really not a big deal. But for those of you who don't know, for the YouTube channels that have really great production value, that's a ton of money. I can't even imagine how much money goes into something like that, especially when people start getting, you know, their own, they start renting out space for YouTube. That to me is just like crazy. But they're able to do that because they do this full time. They get really great sponsorships. They get really great paychecks from AdSense, etc. Or Patreon. So that's just something I wanted to kind of chat about that's on like the flip side. Another thing that I wanted to talk about on the flip side is, I've said this before, but demonetization is a thing. And I've had videos get demonetized that I don't know why they got demonetized, because YouTube doesn't tell you. Now, I know why the pure romance video got demonetized, because that was talking about adult subjects, so I get it, YouTube. But you don't know why it's getting demonetized. You get the little yellow $sign. You can submit it for review, but sometimes even if you submit it for review, it comes back and says that it's still not eligible for monetization. And I honestly, the videos that have gotten demonetized, I have no idea why they got demonetized. However, for me, not a big deal. I'm doing this as a hobby. I'm doing this for fun. I would be creating these videos even if I was not monetized, because this is fun for me. And I love being able to learn new things. I love being able to have my brain be working again and researching again, because that is one thing that I loved about college. So for me, this is something that I actually enjoy doing, and that's just a perk to get a couple extra bucks from a video, or, you know, for a couple videos like that, to me is really great. And it's just an added bonus, and it's a really great added bonus, to be completely honest. And like, I never dreamed of being able to create videos where I actually get ad revenue on. I was going to, when you guys watched my first video and when people started reaching out to me, asking me to make more videos, I did it not knowing that this would happen. But the problem is that for the YouTubers who do this full time, if a video or multiple videos get demonetized, that can put a huge dent in their daily life, or because they're paying for everything that they own from their YouTube. And some content creators don't even want to do sponsored content, which that's on them. That's also something that people need to take into consideration, that if a content creator doesn't want to create sponsored content because either they don't believe in it, or it's just a personal thing, or maybe they just don't want it to seem like, I don't even know. But some people, it's just against what they want to do. And obviously, this is their channel. This is their influence, I guess you can say, on their audience. So they do what they feel is right, and they do what they feel they want their channel to be. So a lot of times they do rely on ad revenue. And if something's going to get demonetized, they need to, and if they're doing it full time, they kind of need some kind of money, because that's how they're paying their bills. That's what their livelihood depends on. And I think that a lot of people who are really against Patreon, they don't understand that. And another issue too that I've noticed, and I don't know if this is necessarily like a conspiracy through YouTube, but I've seen multiple bigger channels talk about this, where they have gotten strikes on their channel for talking about topics that are a little too much for YouTube, or some content creators think that their channel has actually been blacklisted because they talk about topics that YouTube doesn't favor. Now, is that true? I honestly, I don't know. I don't work for YouTube. I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know. But if you don't know, you get 3 strikes and then you're out on YouTube. So there's this other channel, and she's talked about things from her past, and because she does have a past, and unfortunately those are, I guess they go against YouTube's community guidelines or whatever the case may be. So she had to move a lot of the content that she wanted to create onto Patreon as well, because unfortunately she can't make it for YouTube anymore. So in that case, you know, people have to understand that unfortunately for some people, they can't continue to make the content they want to on YouTube anymore, because they still have to abide by YouTube's guidelines. Another thing that I have seen in the argument from the side of hating Patreon, which this is a valid point, I do agree with this point, is that why am I going to support every single one of my favorite content creators? Which is a good point, because I'm subscribed to so many channels that if I were to support all of them on Patreon, even if their lowest tier was $1, I'd be broke. I wouldn't be able to support all of them. And that's, you know, that's the thing, is that is a valid point. But at that point, I think that it's up to the individual on who they actually want to support, if they even want to support anybody. At that point, it comes down to who you prefer the most. I do think that at the end of the day, you cannot support every single one of your favorite content creators, because that is not a good financial decision. So, and some content creators do have really astronomical prices. So I do get where they're coming from on that. I do. Now, are there content creators out there that are money hungry? Yes, I'm sure there are. Do I know which ones those are? No, I don't. But I mean, you can probably figure out on your own which ones are probably more so after the money than, you know, creating valuable or whatever the case may be content that your readers want, or not your readers, oh my gosh, subscribers want. To my patrons already, thank you so much. You really don't truly understand how much I appreciate you guys, and even my subscribers. Even if you watch my videos for free, I love that you do that, and I love that I'm able to spread awareness about a topic that I am very passionate about, and I'm very happy that I'm able to just be able to interact with people. Like, I've actually made friends through my videos, my channel, my anti-MLM Facebook group. Like, I've made friends with people who were already planning to meet in person. Like, that to me is crazy. It's crazy, because I'm very antisocial. I'm very awkward. So if anyone ever sees me out in public and if I act weird, that's just how I am. Nothing against you. That's just how I am. But for me, it's crazy to think that I have been able to actually connect with people on a whole nother level thanks to my channel. And like I said, even if you watch me for free, it's amazing. And to get the messages that say it's thanks to your videos that I either got out of my MLM, or, you know, I've gone through the same experiences if they watch videos that are not anti-MLM. I've gone through the same experiences and I thought I was the only one. So it's great to get those messages, and that right there is better than any kind of compensation I can ever get, because I didn't expect any of this to happen. And it's just nice that I'm able to help people, even though it's just through a computer screen or a phone screen or a tablet or wherever you watch me, or even if you just listen to me and you don't watch me at all. But anyway, with all that being said, if you have watched up to here, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, support me on Patreon if you'd like. Check out my merch, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Monica reporting to you live from a highway. Bye!